This evening, the issuance of new passports delayed for months due to a global supply chain breakdown. Guyana Police Force updates Simon Jones drowning investigation to a murder case. Government contemplating the establishment of biotech industries here in Guyana. In the region, indigenous protester dies in Ecuador as violence increases, and internationally, Kashmir faces severe floods, landslides. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Following the report that the Central Immigration and Passport Office is experiencing a delay of 2 months in issuing passports to new passport applicants, the Guyana Police Force responded, citing the cause as delays in obtaining necessary materials caused by disruption in the global supply chain. In a statement issued by the Guyana Police Force, the Central Immigration and Passport Office continues to provide passport and other immigration document services. However, it is attempting to do so within 5 working days. The COVID-19 pandemic and other recent world events have disrupted the countless supply chains. The Guyana Police Force's Central Immigration and Passport Office have been affected by this disruption in the supply chain of material. The delayed shipment of materials is expected here in late August, after which normalcy will prevail. While the delay is inevitable, the Central Immigration and Passport Office remains unwavering in its commitment to work assiduously to ensure that things are back to normal in the shortest possible time. They apologize for any inconvenience this delay may have caused. In the midst of an autopsy report, police have updated Simon Jones' drowning investigation to a murder case. Esther Sobers has more details.
What the Guyana Police Force was investigating as an alleged drowning death of a 19-year-old Simon Jones at rock landing Ikeriku River, Upper Mazaruni between May 27th and June 31st has now turned into a murder investigation. The post-mortem examination conducted on the body of Jones revealed that the young man died of multiple injuries. In a telephone interview, Headline News spoke to Commander of Region 7, Diane Moore, who outlined that the case is now being handled as a homicide. He further stated that 2 individuals were arrested, questioned, and subsequently released. According to reports, Jones was last seen alive on May 27th around 11:30 p.m., attempting to cross the Ikeriku River from the right bank to the left bank. On May 31st, 2022, at around 1000 hours, 3 miners from the area who were traversing the river observed the deceased body afloat close to the left bank of the said river. Police in the division were informed and subsequently retrieved the body. It was alleged that Simon's failed attempt caused him to perish at rock landing Ikeriku River, Upper Mazaruni. However, Jones' family members believe that he was murdered since, in their opinion, his body appeared to have been burned before being thrown overboard. Additionally, the family was told that Jones, who departed a ship he was working on to go into the interior, got into a fight with a local man before he went missing. As the family seek justice, investigations continue. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. As the Ministry of Education partners with the Guyana Police Force to rid schools of gangs and weapons, they may now have another issue on their hands. It may be drugs in schools. A 12-year-old female student from a Kayuni Mazaruni Region 7 school was found with narcotics in her socks at the school on Wednesday, June 22nd. Inquiries disclosed that during school hours, the acting headmistress of the school received information that students from grade 7 were in the class with narcotics. The acting head searched and unearthed 2 Ziploc transparent plastic bags containing cannabis concealed in the socks of a 12-year-old female student. When questioned, the student explained that she got the cannabis from her friend, another 12-year-old female student of the said class, who claimed that she stole it from her father. The father was contacted and admitted that he had the cannabis since he smokes. The matter is being investigated and the Child Care and Protection Agency has been called in. Stick around after the break. Several Sophia residents received capacity building training and government contemplating the establishment of biotech industries here in Guyana. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands, and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Head to Clearance for a must-see Father's Day sale on Friday the 17th and Saturday the 18th of June. Get 15 to 50% off all items for your dad. On sale will be men's pants, shirts, jackets, jerseys, Puma and Nike sneakers, 5% off Morel slippers, perfumes. Also available ties, belts, briefs, and boxers, as well as your favorite brands in men's shoes, polo jerseys, sneakers, and short sleeve shirts with matching Dockers pants. Get it all at Clearance on Friday the 17th and Saturday the 18th of June. Happy Father's Day from Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Welcome back. Guyana would be seeking to develop the framework and infrastructure not only to build a similar facility like BioNTech's mRNA vaccine factory in Kigali, but to encourage investors in medical research and development. President Dr. Infra Ani made this announcement earlier today at the launch of the COVID-19 vaccine maker BioNTech's mRNA vaccine factory in Kigali, Rwanda's capital city, which will enable the African nation to jumpstart its own manufacturing. The president said this is the direction Guyana wants to head in, to be able to develop the framework and infrastructure and build a similar facility in Guyana and encourage investors in research and development in the medical field as a whole to come to Guyana as a medical hub for developing vaccines and developing a treatment for malaria, etc. To achieve this, the president noted, It will require the right regulatory, legislative, and institutional framework and the support of countries like Rwanda and Ghana, who have already charted the way. To this end, bilateral discussions on the way forward are already on the agenda with the two African nations. President Ali recalled that the COVID-19 pandemic taught the importance of not only having access to vaccines, but in ensuring that every region is vaccine secure. He noted the COVID-19 pandemic also highlighted the great inequality not only in the manufacturing of vaccines and the pricing, but also in the distribution. The president is in the Central African country attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting 2022. 7 company owners whose livelihoods have been impacted by the infrastructure work in Georgetown are participating in a capacity building program. The training is part of the AHAPA's initiative to improve the quality of life for low-income Guyanese, as the source explains.
A 2-day capacity building program is now being provided to 7 business owners in Sophia, Georgetown, whose livelihoods were impacted by the infrastructure work during the Phase 2 of the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program. The Central Housing and Planning Authority is carrying out the Inter-American Development Bank-funded Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program, which aims to improve the quality of life for Guyanese in urban and peri-urban Georgetown by granting low-income populations access to affordable housing and fundamental infrastructure. The capacity building training is designed to ensure that all project-affected persons who are economically displaced by the program activities have their socio-economic conditions re-established or improved. The training began on Wednesday at the National Library and is being led by the Ministry of Central Housing and Planning Authority in collaboration with the Small Business Bureau and the Guyana Revenue Authority. The business owners receive coaching in areas of financial management and record keeping, entrepreneurial awareness, and small business development on day 1. The Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, told the participants that this training would enhance their knowledge and bring development to themselves and their community. Minister Crowell further stated that small businesses are important for the country's economic growth and job creation. As part of restoring their livelihood, affected business owners who were previously issued cash entitlements commemorate with their respective income losses. A similar exercise was conducted in March 2022 for 17 persons affected under Phase 1 of the program. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sopers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Thousands of Dutch farmers protest against emission targets, and Kashmir faces severe floods, landslides.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure. always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. An indigenous protester has died in Ecuador as violence increased amid days of anti-government protests that the country's military has labeled as a grave threat to democracy. Al Jazeera's Lucy Numi reports.
Indigenous Ecuadorians from the mountains to the coast to the Amazon are congregating in the capital Quito, defying a state of emergency that prohibits public gatherings. Remico is from the oil-rich Amazon region.
The prices of basic goods, not to mention fuel, are astronomical. Our region is the richest, but we are among the poorest. That's why we won't back down.
The national strike called by the Confederation of Indigenous Nations is stopping fresh food and cooking gas from reaching the capital. The streets of Quito are almost empty, as are the main highways, which are blocked.
We have rights and will fight for them. We've been here already for 7 days.
The brief arrest of the Confederation's president, Leonidas Issa, and what he says was a subsequent assassination attempt outraged indigenous communities. And now the death of a young protester hit in the head by a police tear gas canister in the Amazon region has further fueled anger and violence.
The Indigenous Confederation is now marching towards the Agriculture Ministry. There are thousands and thousands of them right now trying to show their strength. But for now, they are not going to the presidential palace.
In the past, highly organized indigenous farmer unions have helped oust 3 presidents.
Aquí estoy.
Conservative President Guillermo Lasso says the Confederation is trying to overthrow him by provoking chaos. But Issa tells us that isn't their goal. They want to convince the president to consider their 10 demands, starting with subsidizing fuel prices for those most in need.
We have negotiated with him for an entire year, but he does not budge, not even a little. He cannot continue to profit from our pain and cave into pressure from the IMF. He has to listen to his people.
When asked if they plan to march on the presidential palace if their demands aren't met, Issa said an assembly of all the indigenous nations represented here will soon decide. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Quito.
Internationally, thousands of farmers have gathered in the central Netherlands to protest against the Dutch government's plan to rein in emission of nitrogen oxide and ammonia, driving their tractors across the Netherlands and snaring traffic on major highways. Al Jazeera's Step Vesson reports.
On their tractors, farmers from all over the country headed to the little town of Stroe. Ignoring police instructions, they blocked motorways, causing traffic chaos. The rally was held at one of the threatened farms and was the largest since protests started a few years ago. Among them were many young farmers who blamed the government for ruining their future, like 19-year-old Jesse Bars, who wants to follow his father's footsteps and take over the family's dairy farm.
I don't think I have a future in farming, because we have to reduce our cattle by 70%. With only 80 cows, this won't be profitable, so we will have to close.
Farms near national parks are hit the hardest, according to a recent government plan. Ecosystems in the Netherlands have been severely damaged by nitrogen pollution, and the country has failed to meet European standards. Nearly half of these emissions are caused by animal feces produced at large-scale farms. An important meat exporter, the Netherlands has nearly 50,000 farmers, keeping millions of animals. Isabelle van der Kief takes care of 1,800 calves. She says farmers' actions have not affected popular support.
Met deze actie echt wel heel erg veel support van burgers.
We received a lot of support with this protest. When we were travelling, we got many thumbs up of people passing by. You feel that they really understand that we don't want to cause trouble and that this is just a cry for help.
Anger among Dutch farmers has reached boiling point, looking at the thousands that have left their farms to attend this rally. While many here realize that farming in the Netherlands will have to change drastically, they blame the government for singling out farmers for widespread nitrogen pollution.
To reduce emissions, the government has allocated 25 billion euros to compensate farmers, move them or make farms more environmentally friendly.
This nitrogen policy is, let me say, a disaster, a great disaster. We need time, we need space, and we need much more better policy.
On Thursday, Dutch Parliament will debate the government plans. Farmers say more protests will follow and they will sit tight for the long haul. Step Fasten, Al Jazeera, in Stroe.
And finally, heavy rainfalls in Indian-administered Kashmir has triggered landslides and flash flooding. The region's largest river has breached its danger mark and flood warnings have been issued. Al Jazeera's Katia Lopez-Odayan reports.
With streets and homes partially submerged, this community in Indian-administered Kashmir is trying to stop things from getting worse. Heavy rainfall caused a canal in Budgam district to burst its banks. Now this neighborhood is bearing the brunt.
We were sleeping and heard people's cries. Floodwater started coming in. Many houses are damaged and even paddy fields are underwater. Damaged crops will mean a huge loss for us.
Mubina says she feels helpless. All her belongings are damaged.
Nothing much is left now. My nephew had a close call, but he was somehow saved from the floodwaters. It's so high, you can't even take out items from inside the house.
Heavy rain and snowfall has triggered flash floods and landslides in recent days. Roads are blocked and cars stranded. Rescue teams have started moving people from low-lying areas to safer locations.
One of the landslides covered an area of about 100 meters. If it doesn't rain in the next few days, it will take at least 2 days to clear the debris.
Until that happens, families are doing what they can, stacking sandbags and putting up barriers to try and save what's left. Katia Lopez-Odayan, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now to your 30-minute forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.